Now, the way that workflows look, when you go into the dashboard for the workflows, it shows you workflow templates that you own in your account. And up the top here, there's a little link that shows you all the workflows that have been shared from other people's accounts into yours. So you may have somebody in your organization who is in charge of workflows, and they can create and maintain the workflows and share them to you so that you all use a consistent set. Now, workflows, to create a new template, you click on the plus symbol here and follow the instructions. It's super simple. And you can name these workflow templates in any way that you like. So these are just arbitrary names that you put in. I've named mine by work type. You can name them by customer and work type. You can put whatever label you like on here. So if I was doing a set of banner ads, I would use this workflow because it goes through a certain set of people. Television commercials, I'd use this workflow. So let's focus on this Facebook post approval workflow and click in and have a look at what they look like. So workflows are simply steps with people in the steps, and it's routing all the way through till it gets to the approver. The approver, we've seen, is the person who's able to mark up the to-do list or approve the work. So in this example, we'll go through this in a bit of detail. I have created these 3 steps. You can construct as many steps as you like or as few steps as you like. You can have 1 step with everybody in it, or you can stagger it like we have done here. Now, if I was to use this workflow, it would go to the marketing team first. So this step in its entirety would receive emails at once. So all 4 people would receive their emails at once. There's no order inside of a step. These people would all be able to come in, use the red pen, leave their feedback directly on the work. PageProof is going to sit and wait for anybody who has a role that's colored in orange. So this mandatory here, this person is the one that PageProof is going to sit and wait for, because that is the stakeholder in this step. Once Gemma comes in and presses her finished button, then PageProof will include the sales team in the review and sit and wait for Marcus, because Marcus is the mandatory in this step. Once Marcus has pressed his finish button, then it goes to the approver who can mark up the to-do list or is able to approve the work. Now on mandatories, you can have multiple mandatories in a step if you want to. So now we are required to have Gemma and Mark come in and press their finish button before it goes to sales. Now you'll see that there's a little green icon here. This green icon is the inviter role. This inviter role allows those people that it is ticked on for to add other people to the review. So you will trust Gemma enough that she is able to get essentially the anyone else field where she can put in an email address of a colleague that has been missed. So that is the inviter role. So those are the steps inside of a workflow. As I said, you can have 1 or multiple steps if you want to. These workflow steps are additive. So if it moves on from marketing into sales, and it just simply adds sales to the review, the marketing team can still leave their feedback. It just now means that sales can see it. So that's how these work. Now down the bottom of every workflow template, there is an area where you can add proof owners. So proof owners are people like you. These are people who can manage the proof that's made with this template. Typically, this can be your production studio manager. This might be the account director on that account. These are people who want to have the notifications about approvals, to-do lists. These are typically not your customers. So you don't want to put your customers or anybody who's in the workflow into the proof owners area, because it means they can manage the proof. They can even delete it if they want to. So just be aware, proof owners really are just like you are, and you don't want your customers in here as proof owners. Each one of these templates can be for a particular account, and then you can have the account director on here, or account manager, or multiple account managers. Anytime a proof is made with this workflow, these people go on automatically as owners. And then lastly, on this area, until we move on to look at the Gatekeeper, you can share your workflow templates with others. So this little shared with, once you have created the ultimate workflow for that particular piece that you're wanting to do. If you click on Shared With, you can share this workflow template with your design team, for example. So all of you get access to use that workflow, and you can nominate somebody to have edit access to your template if you want to as well. So if you're away on leave, you do want one other person who can alter the templates with you, so you can switch that on for one person if you want to. Now, last thing that we're going to look at is the role of a gatekeeper. So inside PageProof, you can create the workflows as we've looked at, but you can now also add a gatekeeper role. And gatekeepers can be anywhere in the workflow. We recommend gatekeepers are isolated into a step by themselves. You can have 2 gatekeepers in a step if you want to, or 3. It doesn't matter too much. But if you intermingle gatekeepers amongst other people in the workflow step, you'll see that this can be a bit of a problem. Now, the way this works is that when you have a step that has a gatekeeper, a question mark shows up below the step. This is because the gatekeeper is making a decision. This person can decide whether the proof goes back to the design team or the proof owner with changes, or they can decide to release it to the steps below. Okay, so the gatekeeper is kind of like a flow control, if you like. So if I talk through what would happen with this particular workflow, if we use this workflow, put in a PDF, it would arrive into this internal creative director step, into Ray, who is the gatekeeper. Ray would look at the work. If Ray decided that it needed changes, she looks at it and thinks, oh no, we need to change this, change this, change this. She can send a to-do list back from that step to the proof owners, and the client step never sees that version. So essentially, Ray can stop the workflow at this top point and send it back to the proof owners saying, hey, here are the changes I would like. The proof owners can then make those changes and suggestions, put a new version of the proof into the workflow. So it now arrives into Ray again, because workflows start from the top every time you use a new version. It'll come into Ray again. Ray will look at the version 2 of this particular piece of work, and she will say, hey, this is great. She can then release the proof to the client step, and then it goes through the rest of the workflow. Now, the people in the client step can only see the proof that's been released to them. They can't see the previous iterations. So there is a case where the internal creative director and the proof owners may go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward 9 times. That's okay, you can do that. And then the 10th version is released to the client. So the client will only see the 10th version and onwards. Now, sending out a piece of work, you simply take a PDF, a movie, a Word document, you drag and drop it into the PageProof dashboard over on the file dropper over here, pops up and says, hey, what is the proof name? So we have a proof name here that you can change. You can tag this proof, so I'm going to put in here a job number, maybe something seasonal, maybe a customer name. You add in the tags that you would like, which improve search, but also they act as a way of grouping proofs together. So if you have a proof with this job number occurring in all of those proofs, it'll cluster them together into a folder for you so that you are able to look at campaigns in one place. Put in a due date. You can set a reminder, so you can automate the reminders here. So PageProof is chasing the people who haven't seen the proof yet automatically, so you don't need to worry about that too much. You put in a message to your reviewers, which you can default to a piece of text like I have here, and then you simply choose a workflow. So you can say that Facebook approval workflow, click send proof, boom, out it goes. It now goes to the marketing step in that workflow, then the sales step, and then into the approver who can sign off the work. One little feature we have here for those sending out proofs, if they want to make a slight modification to that workflow, they can turn on the amend switch here, and this will take it, when you click next, it'll take a copy of the template, draw it up on screen. You can add people in, take people out, but it doesn't alter the template. It just changes it for this proof only. So it's a great way of just making those last minute changes.